Sheldon, what did you see from Matthews' line on Saturday? Where do you feel like those guys are at?
I feel like they had some good opportunities to score offensively. I think they've been a little bit disconnected defensively, and as a result, spend probably more time on our half of the ice than we'd like them to, and that they would like to. So that's the focus, just getting them dialed in on the details defensively in those transitions when we don't have the puck. Offensively, I'm not concerned with it. Like I said, even on a night which I wouldn't describe as their best night, they still had plenty of looks. Austin, had plenty of looks, especially in the second, third period. So yeah, there's lots of good ingredients to that line, but I don't think we've seen it play to its potential here yet. And I think there's part of it is the line coming together, but part of it is the three players playing at their best. I think that's what we've seen. So we look at the Tavares line, I think part of why the line is starting to work is just that the players are working and competing, and that helps the line go. When everybody's playing well and dialed in all areas.
Any update on Ilya Mikheyev? Noticed he was skating this morning.
Yeah, no update other than obviously that he is skating. So I think that's just him working his way through the timeline here. I haven't seen whether he's had a stick in his hand or not, but I know he's not handling pucks or anything, is my understanding. I haven't watched him, but I know he was excited when I talked to him the other day about getting on the ice.
Hey, Sheldon, I guess you're always happy when guys get opportunities, and the waiver wire is there for that purpose. Do you wince a bit when you lose depth players like Brooks first and then Amadio the past few days?
Yeah, for sure. It's a tough thing, because you value these players, in the case of Brooks, this guy's been in our organization a long time and coached him a lot of games at the American League level and here in the NHL. And then, in Amadio's case, is a guy that came in and worked hard all summer long, was in our facility and had impressed a lot of people and had shown well through preseason and camp, and had gotten a little bit of opportunity, but not a great deal of opportunity with us. Obviously, Austin's situation created a bit of a look for him early, but we've remained healthy on forward since, and it was a situation where we just felt both for he and us, him sitting around and not getting in games, and the inability to play in the minors, that it wasn't helping him in his game, whether that was for us when we needed him or just for his own career. So you take a chance and you put him on waivers and see if you can get him through and get him down playing in the minors. But as you say, the system's designed for a reason, that if teams have an opportunity and a need, that they can keep the player in the NHL. So I think that's a positive thing for players, and that's why it's set up that way. So, with Vegas' injury situation, it becomes a great opportunity for Amadio.
Both goalies up and running now. Sheldon, maybe the first opportunity this year to really implement the tandem that you guys had a lot at the beginning of the year. Have you given a lot of thought to how you approach the net line this week?
I haven't. No, I'm focused on tonight only.
What sticks out most to you about the Golden Knights when you do the pre-scout?
Well, it's just obviously there's a lot of guys missing that from that you're accustomed to seeing in Vegas. But what stands out is just how they play together as a group. Their defense core virtually is intact here. So you see that group and how they move and how active they are in the offensive side of it, how they join, but also just how they close gaps and I think you see just how they play without the puck, how they transition back into defense, the way they track, reload, the effort that's put in on the defensive side of the puck. I think, if anything, when you take out some of their top players like they're missing here, you end up with a lot of their guys that play lower in the lineup that have those great intangibles and those details that are playing more now. So that part of the game becomes a little more difficult. Plus, you bring guys in from the minors that are doing everything that they can to please and to show well. So it's a hungry team that's shook off a tough start early in the season. It seems to have found their groove, and they've been here in Toronto prepping for a couple days. So we're expecting them, despite the guys they have out, to be really good. I think that's a sign of a really good team, and that's certainly what they are, what they've established themselves as, over the last number of years they've been in the league here.
Sheldon, the team lost 4 straight and won 2 now consecutively by a 1-goal margin. How far or how close is the team to where you actually want it to be from this point?
I don't think we're close yet. I think we've shown signs of life here for sure, but we've got another level to get to. I think we've shown some real positive progress. I wouldn't say progress, because I just thought through camp and preseason, we felt really good with where we were at with a lot of the habits and things that we'd established last season that we're showing through. And then since we've started playing the games for real here, they haven't been to the same level. So part of that is us, part of that is the opponent and the competition pushing back. So like I said, I think we've seen signs of life here in the last couple nights. Certainly the other night against Detroit, but we're seeking consistency here as a group, and we're not there yet.
How do you feel like Jack has handled this season so far, coming in, being a starter, the expectations that come with it? How do you think he's handled it?
I think he's handled it well. I mean, it's early going here, so I don't know that we have a whole lot to go off of necessarily, but I think he's, the performance and the play in the net is one thing, but from what you're asking about, to me, I'm watching him around the building. I'm watching his interactions. I'm watching how he handles the ups and downs that we've gone through here in early going, and he hasn't changed one bit. So for me, he's handled it well. He continues to work, continues to, ask questions and want information from the, whether it's the goaltending coach and Steve Briere or the rest of our coaching staff. He's engaged in everything that we're doing. His personalities remain the same, so that's the stuff I'm most concerned about, and he's been really good there.
How do you assess Brody's season to date?
I would say that he, like we talked about with a number of our other defensemen, and he set a high standard for himself last season, and that's a standard that he set for himself in the league. Yeah, and I don't think he's played to that level yet. I do think the last couple of games he's been certainly better. I know he expects a lot of himself. I think he's adjusting to some of the. I know that he looked at his role on the team last season. He felt he could provide a little more offensively, and he's been trying to get involved a little bit more and get in the rush and be involved in the offensive zone. And there's a little bit of a balance that goes with that, because he really did play a little bit more as that safety guy last season, and we're looking for him to find that balance. And I know he's working towards it. But like I said, I think the last couple of games has been more reflective of what we get from Broads. But in terms of his demeanor and his approach every day, that remains the same. I know he's playing his 700th game here tonight, and I think a lot of that is to get to this point is just because he's just consistently been who he is. And even if he has a good night or a bad night, he shows up the next day and he's the same person. And that level of consistency that you get from a guy emotionally, I think, is a really important thing when you're looking for longevity in the league.